Moist Meter was brought to you by Amazon Music. Sign up for free below using our referral code.
Initiating moisture.
In 2016, a plague swept through movie theaters. A movie so shitty that it nearly killed superheroes for anyone with good taste. And by killing superheroes, I mean killing DC superheroes. I'm talking about Suicide Squad. The first Suicide Squad, I think, is the worst superhero movie to come out in the last 15 years at least. So the new one had some big shoes to fill. And I'm happy to say it's actually really good. It's a very good movie. James Gunn somehow was able to bring the worst superhero movie and make it a very good one. I don't think it's the best or anything, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. They took characters I'd never heard of and characters I would have come up with as a joke and made them cool. Like Polka Dot Man, a guy who shoots polka dots. That's like some shit I think of for useless superpowers. Like, what did I call him? Not Stinkler, but I had a superhero who could smell the future. Which is a pretty worthless power, but I feel like if I gave that to James Gunn and told him to put it in Suicide Squad 2, he would have made it fucking awesome. I also still had that cool idea of an old lady who every time she gets like to the point of death, like in her late 80s, 90s or something like that, she births herself like a clone of herself with all of her memories. James Gunn, please feel free to use any of these characters in the upcoming Suicide Squad sequel if you're making another one. But the point is, he took characters that have dumb powers like Polka Dot Man and made them very interesting. Not only as characters, but also made their powers cool to watch. So I really enjoyed these characters and seeing them interact with each other. The chemistry between all of them was significantly better than the first one. They're much more likable and they're much more entertaining. The writing is much better. Like, the jokes land. And like the actual physical comedy of some of the fights works. It's everything the first one could have been. It's done very well. And the action scenes, they're brutal, they're goofy, and the whole movie pretty much knows not to take itself too seriously. That's not to say that there aren't emotional moments. There definitely are emotional beats in the movie, and I think when they're there, they're good. I don't think they're that, compelling, but for what the movie is, I think when it tries to make you feel something for a character, it accomplishes that goal. My favorite character is the street shark. I think the shark guy in the Nawe is really fucking cool. He's just a shark, he doesn't have any friends, and he starts to make some friends. It's just, I don't know, it worked for me. I thought it was good. I also really love the style of editing in this movie. Like, for example, one of Harley Quinn's best scene, in fact, probably one of the best scenes in the movie, is a really long action scene with Harley Quinn just fucking taking down hordes of bad guys. And throughout it, the choreography's good, the action's good, but it'll have these moments where she's fucking akimboing assault rifles with, like, animated flowers pouring out of the back of them, and then, like, little birds flying around that are animated. I don't really have too many complaints about the movie. That's not to say it's perfect or anything, but one thing that did stand out to me is I felt like at points, James Gunn introduced so many characters and didn't use half of them, especially early on in the film. I understand that some characters are brought in just as throwaways, and in this movie just for jokes, but it still would have been nice to at least see a moment or two with some of the characters doing something, really anything. But that's just more of a personal preference. I don't think it's a detriment to the movie, since they are there as a punchline sometimes, and sometimes the death of a character is actually used as a fucking joke. So I get that, but I still think it would have been nice to see some of the characters have at least one moment before they're sent away to the fucking Shadow Realm. And that's not exclusive to just throwaway characters that were there for like a one-off joke. Some of the core characters of the Suicide Squad, like the actual cast that goes on the adventure and makes shit happen, there's two characters I feel that did nothing. They didn't really contribute to the overall goal. They were just kind of there. Like, if they weren't there, it would have played out exactly the same. So that was a little disappointing. I still think they were good characters, and them being there added to the movie, but like thinking about it narratively, they didn't do anything. They didn't have any moments of importance, though I did still enjoy their presence. I'll mention what two characters I'm talking about right after I give the score, so there will be a bit of spoilers after the score. But for now, let me just go ahead and tell you, I'm giving Suicide Squad, the new Suicide Squad, the good Suicide Squad, a 90%. I really enjoyed it. I think there's a lot to like about it. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of good jokes. Not that that's something entirely unique to superhero movies, but it does it really well, I thought. It was an enjoyable 2 hours and 12 minutes spent watching this. Now into the spoilers to explain more what I meant. So I unfortunately think King Shark didn't do anything and I also don't think Polka Dot Man did anything. Their presence there was fun for the team, and I think they added a human element to the chemistry, but it also would have happened without them too, I think. So the relationship between Ratcatcher and Bloodsport, I feel, was already developing before Polka Dot Man and King Shark. So what really kind of happened is Ratcatcher noticed King Shark doesn't have friends. King Shark tries to eat her, and she's like, hey, well, why don't we just all be friends? And that kind of like plants the seed that, oh, this is going to be kind of like a group of friends. But I feel like that was already going to happen because Ratcatcher was just such a likable character and already talking to everyone else. So I just don't think King Shark did anything. Of course, he had some good kills. He ate some people, which is cool. But those people were going to die to the other members anyway because everyone in this movie is just a giant fucking meat balloon to be popped by the main characters. So King Shark killing a couple of them, not even many. I think he only has like 5 kills total. It didn't really do much to add to it, and he didn't really contribute to their plans. When the big bad supervillain alien's introduced, he kind of just nibbles on the arm a little bit before being thrown away. He plants one explosive, which is helpful, but it's not like that made or break the mission. And then for Polka Dot Man, he just actually does nothing. He has 2 confirmed kills, but his polka dots were cool, so he fires them at a structure. The structure falls and the guys fall. I don't think they died. Well, they might have. But then he actually vaporizes 2 people with his polka dots, and that's it. After that, all he really does is bring this element of goofiness, how he pictures everyone as his mother. I think that's enjoyably comedic. But he doesn't really do anything narratively to push it forward or help with the overall goal. He's just kind of along for the ride and having fun. And he reminds the crew about Milton and Milton's death, which again was just another joke. So it's not like he really had a moment. Yes, during the climactic boss fight, he like shoots the leg off, but that didn't do much because it just gets the leg back before he gets taken out. So I don't know. I just felt like they could have done a little bit more with those two to just give them a moment of importance to the film. I enjoyed them, of course. I think they were great, but it would have been nice to see them actually contribute heavily to the goal, because every other character does. Every other character you see is pivotal to pushing it forward and reaching its conclusion, but those two are just more along for the ride and for the comedic relief and fun for the audience. And I think they accomplished that goal, but I just started to really care for the characters, so I would have liked to see them have something impactful happen. So that's really about it. It's a good movie. I recommend it. That's about it. See ya.